West Virginia is no stranger to struggle. The poverty rate is around 20%. Most of the state's coal mines have long since closed, and women in the prime of their lives are dying in frightening numbers.
I am moving to another state where I can find a better job, get back on my feet.
For Laura James, the struggle has become too much. Plagued by health and financial problems, she's decided to leave and says she's seen too many friends die.
People get in a state of depression and they just don't want to do anything. And so they just give up. And they turn to anything that'll make them feel better, to make it go away. And that's where the drugs and alcohol comes in.
In the US, rising mortality rates are rare, but in rural areas, it's white middle-aged women that are hardest hit. In this county alone, the number of deaths has risen by 27% since 1999.
Inpatient rehab services.
Dr. Pamela Alderman points to depression, drugs and unemployment, but says there's also a problem with access to health care.
We don't have public transportation. We don't have taxis. We don't have subways. So it's hard for these individuals to come from their homes to a community to receive health care.
There's long been a divide in mortality rates between urban and rural areas, but what's happening in places like this is now being compared to the HIV/AIDS crisis of the 80s. In West Virginia, women are unhealthier, depressed and more likely to turn to drugs than ever before. And behind it all, there's an overwhelming sense of hopelessness.
A lot of the number one problem that I think that we have actually seen out here is about meth.
DIANE Hughes works with poor families in the region and says many women are simply giving up.
Those opportunities just aren't here. This is not the land of the rich or the place where there's a dream. You know, we still have people that do have hope, that do have dreams, and they're trying, but there's not as many as there used to be, it doesn't seem.
The fact that white women in rural areas are now living shorter, unhealthier lives is shocking in such an advanced nation, and also perhaps an indication of just how vulnerable some communities now are. Andy Gallacher, Al Jazeera, Charleston, West Virginia.